Page number 9, activity number 1. To study reticulate venation in dicot leaves. Earlier we studied the type of the venation. There we studied parallel venation and reticulate venation. And we also read in dicot plants we have reticulate venation. Here in this activity we have taken a people leaf. Instead of people leaf you may take any other reticulate venated leaf. So we take a leaf and we soak it in the water. When we soak it in the water, it get decayed, and the upper layer of the that green layer it start decaying. And then after some time, we change the water every alternate day, and then after a week we scrub the lamina, the leaf blade, and then we have the with the soft and toothbrush or fingers. Then after some time, what do we observe? We can start seeing the veins or the veinlets. From there we can see the cobweb or the interlinked veins and the veinlets. So with this process we show that the arrangement of veins and veinlets in reticulate venation. Activity number 2, here this won't become an exam, it is just for the understanding. Around you have got many potted plants, and you can have a look at the leaves. If it has the parallel venation, we will say they are the monocot leaves, or they are the monocot plant. If it has a reticulate venation, then they are of dicot leaves. So look around you, and then we can say reticulate venation, they can be found in dicot leaves. An example like people name mango and guava. Parallel venation are found in monocot leaves or monocot plants. Example, banana, grass, rice, maize. So this will help you in the difference between two. Activity number 3 is important. Here we have to check the presence of starch in leaf. Now, why do we need to check the presence of starch? Earlier we read in the photosynthesis process that when the photosynthesis process takes place, the food is produced using carbon dioxide, water and sunlight, and the food which is produced, it is in the form of glucose. But after some time, the leftover or the glucose which is not required by the plant is converted into starch. So the food is stored in the form of starch in plants. So how do we check that the plant it has food in the form of starch? So it will be present in the plant. So we take a leaf and we wash it, and then we boil it in water. Why do we need to boil it? So that the cell membrane it softens the cell wall and the cuticle present there. After boiling it in the water, we use the ethanol or the alcohol to boil. Now the usage of boiling in alcohol or using the alcohol is because it extracts the chlorophyll, it removes the chlorophyll or the green pigment present there in the leaf. So both the thing are very important. Why do we boil the leaf in water? To disrupt or to break down the cell membrane and soften the cell wall. And then why do we boil the leaf in alcohol? To remove the green color or the chlorophyll, so that later on we do not see the color there. Then later on we eat the drop of iodine. Iodine is blue in color, indigo in color. So when we put iodine on the leaf, the starch is present there or not, to check it. If it is present there, the iodine will turn it into blue black color. So when starch is present, we will observe in the leaf where we have put the drop of the iodine, it changes the leaf color, and hence it proves that the presence of starch. Activity number 4 is also important. Here we have to show the water is lost through leaves. So we will be showing here the process of transpiration. Earlier we read here the loss of excess of water in the form of water vapor from the surface of leaf through stomata is called transpiration. So we know in summers, just like humans, when in summers even human we also sweat, we also lose excess water. Similarly, plants also they transpire and they lose water. To show, we take a potted plant and we use polythene bag. We cover the leaf part of the potted plant with polythene and we tie the loose end here. Then we keep the plant in sunlight. Under the sun rays, the plant will transpire, it will lose. Just like we humans we sweat, even the plant will lose the excess water through transpiration. And what happens when in kitchen, when we boil something and we put a lid over it, the water droplets are formed. When we do not allow the water vapor to move, to run away, or to escape, we can see the droplets. Similarly here, we are not allowing the water droplets or water vapors from the leaves to escape. We have put a polythene here, so the water vapor, it cools down and we can see the water droplets here. So this experiment, this activity shows the process of transpiration. Activity number 5, here to study the modification of leaf into tendril. Now we have got climbers and creepers. So what is the difference between climbers and the creepers? So creepers are the watermelon and other plants which move along with the soil. But the climbers, they climb. Their stem is very weak in itself. They cannot climb, so they need some support. So sweet pea is one of the example. Here we will try to show that the plant here, the leaves, they are modified into tendrils and they twine itself. They go around the plant, nearby plant, to support itself so that it can grow, it can move upwards. So here we will take a sweet pea plant, and during winter season, if we go and visit, we can see the leaves, the twigs, they have modified into tendrils and they have twined themselves around some support. And this shows the plant, the modification of leaves, which helps the plant to climb. Activity number 6, here the modification of leaves into the spines. The classic example is the cactus plant. Here the cactus, we find the cactus in desert, mainly in desert, but nowadays we keep them in our homes too. So if you observe, we have the stem which is fleshy and it has some spines. So the fleshy part is your stem, where here the leaves, they are modified into the spines, and the green fleshy structure, it carries out the photosynthesis. Now the spines, sometimes they are hard and sometimes they are green, and we can say that to reduce the transpiration, they have they have modified themselves into spines. And to carry out the photosynthesis, to grow, it requires a photosynthesis process also. So they have modified themselves, the stem has modified themselves into fleshy structure also. So we have got two here, the leaves are modified into spines and the stems, they are modified into the green fleshy structure. Earlier we read the vegetative propagation here, which could be, that means the cloning. It can be done by grafting, cutting, layering. And when we talk about the vegetative propagation, the example here is bryophyllum. Now bryophyllum, we take the leaf of the bryophyllum. Now at the end of the leaf, we can see some buds growing out, and when they fall into the soil, the moist soil, they grow into a new plant. Here you can see the bryophyllum plant, and at the end of this, the margin, we have the small buds present here, and one has fallen down. Here you can see the small plants, when from the margin, when they fall down, they grow into a new plant. So with this we cover the activities.